Alright, here's a box. We've got plenty of this stuff. Then we've got like a box within a box. So let's open this. This is the second volume of the Ron Spaceman Omnibus. This here is the variant cover. I don't even know who it is by. I selected to get this variant cover because the main cover was by Bill Son of a Bitch, whose art and personality I do not like. This collects issues 30 to 50, nice round numbers there, as well as the first two annuals and an issue of Marvel 2 for 1. Underneath, we have the cover to Marvel 2 for 1 99. And, dare I say, something that should have been one of the available proper covers for the omnibus. I would have picked this if this one was an option. On the back, we have Ron. Most of the contents, the majority of the contents, almost all of the contents, are by Bill Bungalow and John Buscema, brother of Sal Buscema. I will be noting the one issue that is co-written by Marky Mark J. Didn't worry about that. Issue 30 begins our omnibus. We continue with Ron Spaceman on his quest to eradicate the evil aliens called the Dire Straits. They are the imposters from Among Us. They can impersonate us and are secretly working against us on Earth. Ron Spaceman is joined by his kinda sidekick, Turbo. Turbo is a Marvel superhero who had appeared in Daredevil and Hulk before this. He is and was and will remain a pretty minor character by any definition of a hero's worth. If I remember, Turbo's visor is able to see the imposters. He can see when someone is actually a dire strait. I think Torpedo later has that ability as well in New Warriors. Issue 31 features Ron Spaceman meeting Rouge and the evil brotherhood of evil muties of evil. More Turbo. He is a supporting character after all. This story sees the return of the bad guy from an earlier story in Ron Spaceman. We have a dire strait that is a mutie dire strait. And then Ron Spaceman battles the evil brotherhood of evil muties of evil. Avocado, Fireman Sam, Blob Braveheart. He fights them. Avocado, his arms are currently broken. There is a footnote somewhere. There is some continuity at play. Bill Bungalow recently had Avocado in an issue of Hulk, which I have reviewed a couple of months ago. The main thing in this, though, is Rouge. She kisses Ron Spaceman and absorbs his memories. And this inspires her and encourages her. It shows her how fulfilling being a hero can be. This is the beginning of her character arc, her redemption. Her next appearance as her rock up at the Excellent Men house and join the team. I talked all about this during my ill-fated Miss Marbles week. Then we have Ron Spaceman Annual 1. Someone asked me to review this years ago, and I said I would, and then I never did. I do own this though. This is the one co-written by Marky Mark J. Maybe I shall review it this week. I probably won't. The bad guy in this fella here, he returns in some issues of Kazar. Art for the annual is by Broderick Kingsley. He was doing Michael notes at the time, I believe. Issue 33, we are back to the regular series. Nice splash image of Ron Spaceman here. There's some nice splash images in here that would make nice covers. Better covers than the two covers they offered for the omnibus. These next two issues I have owned, but I never read them. Issues 34 and 35, they have a team up with Seaman. I got these for Darth Knight, the subscriber. I hope with pages like this, he appreciates the things I gave him for free. Nice page here, parallel images of Seaman and Ron. From the looks of things, this seems to feature a lot of the woman from issue 33. I hope I didn't mess up. I hope I didn't need to get issue 33 for him to follow this story. The last thing I need is my charitable good deeds to my subscribers backfiring. I don't want there to be an article written somewhere about the evil YouTube personality who sends his subscribers free comics but never the complete stories. Maybe I should have gotten issue 36 as well. Looks like Seaman is making a little cameo at the start of that one. The typical saying goodbye cameo after a guest appearance. This guy, this bad guy here, in the purple cloak, I think this might be Dr. Dread. Dr. Dread is a Ron Spaceman bad guy. I only know about him because they bring him back in 2010 in Galactical Guardians, I think it was. Another splash image of Ron Spaceman. I keep wanting to say this would make a good cover, but would it? Would it really? Yeah, one of the problems I have with this omnibus, one I have with most things I unbox, is that I have not read this. I haven't read most of the contents here. I have read 4 issues in this omnibus, and we have already gotten through 3 of the ones I have read. The 2 Rouge issues and the annual. And I bet you didn't even notice that I had read those. At least compared to this one or that Seaman one. If this is Dr. Dread, which I think it is, I will explain him. Actually, I won't. It might not be him. Dr. Dread is definitely in this one somewhere, though. He is a character I do not appreciate. Oh, here is a lovely page. Okay, right, here is Dr. Dread. I know it is because that is what he looks like, and also the script, as him say, he is Dr. Dread. But now I am disappointed because it looks like he is going to be tied into this team up with a character I don't want to read about. That is disappointing. Tremendously disappointing. See, I know Dr. Dread from that story in 2010. I knew he was a Ron Spaceman bad guy, and so he was something I was looking forward to reading about. He was a character I knew, and I was interested in seeing his original appearances. There was also a big retcon in that 2010 story, and so I was doubly interested to see if it is a retcon that actually works with the original text, or if it is a Kurt Busey style retcon. Legitimately, it is a Kurt Busey style retcon. They say that this character is actually something else pretending to be something else. Knowing he is part of this story with this shitty character, really my heart has sank a bit. I would be saying the same thing if it was Iron Fist, by the way. Not a fan of martial arts comics. Issue 40, man alive, this might be... I think they asked somebody to come up with an issue of Ron Spaceman, or a cover for an issue of Ron Spaceman, that I would see and feel so embarrassed to be collecting comics that I would not buy one for at least a week. Oh, here is another decent image. I'm pointing this out. Yeah, I think this one would have worked as a cover. The thing is, we will come to it, but there's not a great amount of covers to pick from. I think both the covers they chose for this omnibus were not great. I would have loved a third option, but instead I had to settle for the second option. This would have been a good third option. This one wouldn't. Now this issue I have read, issue 41. This is the fourth and final issue in this collection I have read. We have a really great intro piece that sets up Doctor Strange. Tremendous. Glorious art as well. We have the Tribunal, and this is actually his second ever appearance. Technically his third, counting What If, issue 32. But this is the first time they brought him back in the mainline comics. Imagine, without this issue of Ron Spaceman, the Tribunal might have been left in the Silver Age. Really good issue though, this one. I like the cosmic shite. I don't remember Dr. Dread being in it. A lot of team-ups in Ron Spaceman, aren't there? Now here is a banger of a page. Ron Spaceman is too small on the image. Otherwise, I would be crying to make this the cover. This one features... It is the Fantastic Force enemy. Second Sunday of Easter. Good villain. Interested in reading this one, definitely. They did an Andy book once, written from the perspective of this villain. Mental that, innit? I suppose when it comes to covers, this one, I would be arguing this would have been a good cover. A variant cover definitely. An alternate choice. Something for the direct market. I think this is one of the best covers in here. I would have liked this as an omnibus cover, even if it's not perfect. It's better than Bill Son of a Bitch. It is a great picture. Someone asked me what Ron Spaceman looked like out of his armour. They asked if they had ever shown him not in armour. I didn't understand why, because you see him out of armour a lot. His Andy-book entry in the deluxe edition even, he is shown in human form on that. If that person happens to be tuning in, yeah, you do. This is him out of his armour. You see it quite a lot. Dr. Dread again. Okay, might as well say. The retcon is that he actually isn't a Dire Straits. He is a Skrull pretending to be a Dire Straits. That was the retcon. In this, he is just a super baddie for Ron Spaceman. I think he is a Dire Strait that is a mystic. Well, he's really a Skrull. I tells ya, this cover here, it really takes Robert back. We got the Soviet super soldier boys. You know, there was a Lego game, Lego Avengers 2. No, it was Lego Marvel Avengers or some shit. Not the good one. The one that was the movies. The Lego version of the movies. But they had loads of comic characters as playable characters because there wasn't enough from the movies. One of the characters you could unlock, you just see the character names and like the image is blacked out. It said it was Gargoyle and I got dead excited and then it turned out to be this Gargoyle. The other Lego one, Lego Avengers 2, that was written by Kurt Busey, and I am pleased to say people hated that game. As far as Bill Son of a Bitch covers go, I would say this is better than the one they chose for the cover. Actually, as far as Bill Son of a Bitch covers go, this is possibly his best cover to date. This, again, like the one of Ron as a human, not a good omnibus cover really. I would have bit me tongue and got this as a cover for the omnibus. I'd have been like, okay, I like this Bill Son of a Bitch cover. I don't like Bill Son of a Bitch, but this cover works. This could have been a cover as well. Fuck, we're just looking at the covers now. Is that alright? I think this would make a good cover for the omnibus. Although again, less than ideal. The character has his back to us. What I am finding is, despite me not liking either of the cover choices offered, they didn't have much better they could offer. I understand this, or that one of him as a human, not being chosen. I take that back. There is no reason this wasn't offered as a cover. It has got Ron Spaceman, and it has a Marvel character. This would be a great cover. They even printed it on the front. This is Marvel 2 for 1, 99, the penultimate issue of the series. Thing teams up with Ron Spaceman, an issue unlikely to be reprinted alongside Marvel 2 for 1. It is written by Bill Bungalow. Never read it though. This is a very nice cover. Should have had this as the omnibus cover. Al Milburn art. I guess the blood isn't great. but, well, it was fine for a cover of an issue on the newsstands in the early 80s. I think A Little Bit of Blood is fine for a $125 collection. So here, this is the cover to the one I got, issue 50. Don't know who the artist is. Cannot see a signature. I am going to guess it is Mr. Turnbull, maybe. Although the scrolls, their faces, the scrolls' faces, they look a bit like your boy Zek. This was the better cover for the omnibus of the two offered. Turbo. Great splash page of Turbo if you're a fan of Turbo. Another splash page here. Don't look to the left or you'll have a spoiler. Scrolls. Wonder if they have come to check in on their brother, Dr. Dread. Could this have made a good cover? We got some pin-ups at the back of the issue. Ron Spaceman. All the characters that he has teamed up with. The Dire Straits. This was the main cover for the omnibus. Not even the best Bill son of a bitch cover in here. Not even the second best Bill son of a bitch cover in here.
Wonder if Dr. Dread is in this one.
You are going to come away from this thinking Dr. Dread is like his archenemy or something. This would have been a good cover. Bonuses include his anti-book profile from the original series, his armour and his weaponry. Turbo contains spoiler, and there's the entry for the Dire Straits. You know, they could have. You are going to think me insane. They could have used the Andy book cover as the cover to the omnibus. Ron Spaceman is right up front on it. I think it would have worked as a cover for the omnibus. This was... Why didn't they just get new art done for it? This was a cover done for a reprint of the story from the first omnibus, where he teamed up with the Excellent Men. They released that story by itself. This was the new cover for it. That's this omnibus. It is Michael North's Volume 2 next. Then we get our final Ron Spaceman omnibus, Volume 3. That one has a good cover. This one didn't. It's not a bad cover, just not great for an omnibus. Ron Spaceman isn't the focus of the image. I'll give this omnibus 7 Rons up.